Welcome to Tea Talks, where young adult stories and church experience comes together into a beautiful blend of insight to inspire us. So grab your cup, sit down, relax, and enjoy as we spill the tea. And I am here today with my friend Chris, and we are going to talk about another topic of this book. This book is called Growing Young, and they have a topic here that talks about the importance of keychain leadership. They use this expression to say empowering leadership. How important it is for us, leaders of the church, to empower young people to be able to do the work of God, correct? And I am so curious to know, what is your experience with this topic?
Yeah, so with this topic of leadership, it's one that is just so important because, you know, through my life, I didn't always understand leadership, what it meant. I think I lived a life of more passivity, just as passive early in the church, and I just going there to consume. But when I changed that consumerism mentality to producer, that's when the Bible and church and God really came alive for me. Because I believe, you know, we need to take ownership. We need to get involved in the ministry to stay rooted with whatever church we're in. So for me, you know, I always try to see where the need is within the church, and also, you know, if someone asks me, "Oh, Chris, I think you'd be good at this," I almost feel like it's God speaking through them to me to be challenged, get a little uncomfortable, get in there. Whether it's working in audio or play bass guitar or playing bass or even being called to do a sermon. So for me, it's when I switch that mentality of just going there, sitting in the pew and just trying to consume the whole experience, switch that mentality to more of the producer, get in there, help the other leaders, help just have influence, be a leader to help empower people and help them become a disciple of Christ.
I love that you use the word consumerism, because a lot of times we don't even realize, and I don't think people do it on purpose. They don't say like, I am just going to go to church to just watch a show. They go to church because they want to be close to God, but then it becomes a routine and we don't even realize that we become consumers. We sit down and we just want to watch. This is one side of the coin. The other side of the coin is, and this is something that I want to ask you, your experience on that side, is how important it is for the leaders of the church to empower you to be able to do what you want to do. You don't want to be consumers, but a lot of times you don't have opportunities.
Yes.
So tell me a little bit about that side.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's important that we get guidance. We get guidance from the current leaders. We'll say for the young adults to get guidance from the elders, the ones that have the experience, many years of being leaders, going through challenges, failing. You know, they just have a lot more experience. So I feel like for any church, especially young adults, we need to connect. We need to connect with those older people we look up to, the people we share frequencies with, to learn from them, to get guidance. And then with that gives us as young adults more confidence to jump in there. But, you know, again, we might get challenged. Oh, Chris, can you up on a sermon? That could freeze me. I could get into fear, right? So that's uncomfortable. It's a major step. But if we have those leaders encouraging us, they've been exactly where I was, where they were challenged, and now they're, you know, speaking all the time, influencing, showing that leadership. That will help us to make that first step and stay there. So then we'll feel like, oh wow, I really feel God's presence when I'm preparing for the sermon because I need Him. I can't do this alone. So yeah, that keychain leadership is crucial.
And you led right into the next question that I have for
Awesome.
you, which it is, you talked a little bit about it, but I want you to give a little more details. How did the fact that the leaders of your church gave you opportunities to lead. How being able to lead affected your relationship with God?
The specific ministry or the passion that came to mind was the health and fitness ministry. So there's been a leadership, leaders that have fulfilled that position for a while, but one of the main guys I really connected with, he's a physical therapist as well. I'm a physical therapist, so we have that instant bond. So God's brought us together because of that, because we share that. And now with his experience, his leadership and everything, he's bringing me into that ministry, helping me be a part of it. We actually have a talk coming up where we're going to be talking about different things: resistance training, flexibility, aerobic fitness, the importance of those things. So if it wasn't for him equipping me, giving me the confidence, I might have never been in this opportunity to do it. So super grateful and excited for the challenge, for the leadership opportunity. So
pretty much, can I say that you found your purpose? You found your call?
I think that's pretty accurate, yeah.
Through leaders that believed in you, gave you opportunity, and this way you were able to find your own purpose.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly said or well said. I think because it's kind of how can have that purpose is I feel like for me, I stopped thinking so much. So I feel like what a lot of young adults, especially myself, we struggle with is seeking fulfillment and then also having so many options. So even in the church, okay, I could go into praise man, I could do health and fitness, I could do audio, so many choices. And that parallels with out in the world. Oh, I can go to this job. I can marry this person. So there's just so many options, it overwhelms us. So I feel like when we get to that purpose, we just stop thinking and we just start putting more action in. So it'd be like, okay, God, what's my purpose? What's the will of God? His will is just to put action, just take one step at a time towards him, towards the Spirit, and he'll guide you every step of the way. Because again, a lot of the times we don't know where we're being led. So it's all about kind of just taking a first step. We can't see what God sees, but we just got to trust him, fear him, trust him, and obey his commandments.
Yep.
Yeah.
You touched on a point here that I wasn't even planning about talking about that, but I think it's so important that you said there's so many options out there and young adults, because in the past, young adults get really lost with everything that is available out there. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that Growing Young book mentioned is that in the past, there was kind of like a linear path for our young adults, right? After high school, you go to college, sometimes you get married and go to college, then you have kids, and pretty much there was one straight line.
Yeah.
Now it's like this, you can graduate from high school, take a year off, or you can go straight to college, or you can go to college, then take a gap year. Then you can live together with somebody, then get married, or maybe have kids, then get married later, or maybe go for it. So there's so many options. The life of a young adult is not as linear as it was before. So being able to have the support of the church, and actually, it doesn't matter where you're going to go, but having God's purpose makes understanding, this is what God called me to do. I think it's such a wonderful feeling, because I found that call much later in life, but I'm still grateful.
Yeah, absolutely.
How do you see the impact of young adult leaders to the vitality of the church?
I feel like that's the only way to save the church, to be honest. To be direct or be honest, like our current leaders, they're older, right? So they're not going to be with us forever. So if the young adults don't start stepping up, taking action, taking risks, being uncomfortable, then ultimately the church is going to die. It's as direct or frank as that. So I feel like we have to. There's no other way but to step up as leaders, just take chances, and to kind of hit the passion topic too. Like I believe the passion is important, but at the same time, it's not everything. Because I've learned in my life, sometimes when I go towards the passion, it's my direction, and I kind of get farther from God, where sometimes he'll lead me into something where maybe I'm not passionate about, but the need is there. The need is there, and that's where I can touch people in this season of life or this event or whatnot. So I feel like we just have to be open. We have to be open to leadership opportunities, and just get in there, take risks, take challenges, and again, if we connect with people in our church, they're going to be there to help guide as well. So I feel like some people, it's intimidating to jump into leadership, but I feel like we always got to remember that we're just going to have other brothers and sisters right there to help us. Maybe there's a certain season where in your family you can't put as much time into leadership, so someone else will fill that void for a little bit, and then the season will change. So I just feel like we have to step up, and we have to be leaders together.
Yes. And the focus of this series and the book that we're mentioning, it's youth and young adults. But it's not that we don't care for that generations. It actually, the research showed that the church that focuses on youth and young adults, the vitality of the entire church, it grows, and it's better for everyone. Mm-hmm. So I love that you can see how that actually works.
Yeah, amen. Absolutely.
Chris, it was wonderful talking to you. And I thank you so much for accepting the call to come and talk, and
Absolutely.
for making a difference in your community and in your church.
Absolutely.
Thanks
for having me.
Thank you so much for joining Tea Talks. Keep stirring up the conversations, embracing the beautiful and the messiness of life. And until next time.